Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome to the next top 5. This particular top 5 is a top 5 that I've been thinking about doing for quite some time. And in case if you guys did not see the thumbnail or the title for today's video, I'm here to talk about a franchise that is ending very soon, but being rebooted for a particular film that's coming out in 2 years, and that is the DCEU. I'm actually a fan of not only both the MCU, but also the DCU. And yes, guys, in case you all were wondering, it is definitely possible to like both franchises. You don't have to like one without liking the other. You can like both. It is completely okay. When it comes to the DCEU, I think that a lot of people, or I should say some people out there, because the DCU is one of those franchises that definitely has a particular fan base, but I do think that some people can agree that the DCU hasn't really been, let's just say, the most consistent franchise in terms of quality. While the DCU has definitely had some great ups, at the same time, the DCU has also had some pretty big downs. I'm here to talk about the gems that I either really liked a lot or the films that I absolutely loved from the DCU. Before I continue on with today's top 5, a couple of guidelines as per usual. Now, I know that the majority of you know the guidelines that I usually say, but for those of you who are just coming to my channel for the first time, first of all, welcome, but two, these are the guidelines that I must lay out as per usual. This is my particular top 5 favorite films of the DCU, because I guarantee that there are going to be films on here, or there are films that are not going to be on here, that are going to just raise hell, or some people are going to be like, how in the hell is this film not on this list? And I'm going to get this guy out of the way really quick. Spoiler alert, BVS is not on this list. I know I'm going to ask this later on, but please guys, comment, let me know below. What are your top 5 favorite films from the DCU? Because I guarantee that we're not going to have the same ranking, and that is completely okay. Let's just have a great time talking about some, at least in my eyes, some great films from the DCU. Now, before I continue on, I do want to give a special mention to one particular film, a film that I don't get the hate for this particular film, and that is Birds of Prey. I think that Birds of Prey is a very good film, a very overlooked film. It is a gem that did not get nearly enough love at the box office. Let's get into my top 5 favorite films of the DCU. Let's get it on.
Number 5.
Kicking off my top 5 list, at my number 5 is the film that started it all, and that is Man of Steel. If you're gonna reboot Superman once again, you need 3 things: a great director, a great writer, and a great Superman. And with Man of Steel, not only did you have a great director, a great visionary director in Zack Snyder, a great storyteller in Christopher Nolan, and a great actor, Henry Cavill, playing as Superman. A great DC film, a great DCU film for that matter, but surprisingly, an underrated Superman film. I honestly do not get the hate for Man of Steel. This is a movie that not only did such a great job of kicking off the DCEU, while this film definitely set up promises that unfortunately, at least in my eyes, it didn't ultimately deliver, at the same time, in terms of its humble beginnings, I definitely think that Man of Steel was a great kickoff to the DCU. And here's the thing, I thought that Henry Cavill did a phenomenal job as Superman, and while our time was cut short with him as Superman, with the time that we got, I am more than grateful, because Henry Cavill was a great Superman, and I'm definitely going to miss him. Man of Steel is a great film, and if you haven't seen it, guys, please check it out. It does not deserve that 50-ish% on Rotten Tomatoes. Are you kidding me?
Number 4.
I feel there's only one real way to introduce this film, and that is doing this. Shazam! Yeah, guys, Shazam is my number 4. Shazam was a movie that I had a lot of optimism for, especially knowing that David F. Sandberg was making this film, Zachary Levi was going to be playing Shazam. I was just wanting a DCU film that just seemed a bit more, just like, that just gave you just like a warm hug and a welcoming hug, and I definitely think that Shazam succeeded in all that. And plus, when I heard about the content of this film, I mean, seriously, guys, when it comes down to the content of this film, just thinking about it, Big meets a superhero film. How does that not seem really cool? Not only is Shazam a great film about family, it's a great film about learning what it means to be a superhero, but on top of all that, Not only is it a great Christmas film, because it's a great Christmas film, but on top of all that, Shazam is just a great film altogether. That even though it did become a box office success, it deserved so much more, and that is a great DCU film. Check it out, it is great. If you guys have been following me since 2017, you will all know that this particular film was in my top 10 favorite films of 2017, and that is Wonder Woman. I feel like that there was a lot, and I mean a lot of skepticism when it came to Woman, as there were these, I don't know why, but there were these concerns or worries knowing that a female-led superhero film was not gonna do okay in the box office. Well, to those people who thought that, you guys are idiots. Not only did Wonder Woman have a phenomenal director in Patty Jenkins, it had a terrific performance from Gal Gadot, and also had Chris Pine, amazing action sequences, in particular the No Man's Land battle, which I rewatched recently, and that whole scene still gives me chills. Not to mention the musical score, the cinematography, the overall message. I mean, this is a movie that is just wonderful in pretty much every single regard. There is a particular line that Steve Trevor tells to Diana, and has stuck with me ever since. I can save today, but you can save tomorrow. Wonder Woman is an absolutely beautiful film. It's a kick-ass film. It's terrific, but on top of all that, it is a great DCEU film, and that's why it's my number 3.
Number 2.
This is a movie that I denied its existence. I kept on saying, guys, there is no way the movie exists. What we have is what we have. It coming out as an absolute pipe dream. Just stop trying, guys, because it is not gonna happen. When it was announced, I got very excited, and when it finally came out, well, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I am so happy that Zack Snyder's Justice League exists. I was a person that doubted Zack Snyder's vision quite a bit, but when I finally saw the Snyder Cut, I just kept on thinking to myself, oh my god, I need more. What we have here is a movie that shows us that when studios don't really mess with a director that knows what he's doing in terms of the storytelling, we can get is something that is pretty fucking incredible. What we got is an epic superhero film that not only went against everything that I probably could have imagined. It is a movie that I'm so happy to exist, and even though we won't get the remainder of the story, what we still have here is an amazing superhero film, an epic superhero film, and a film that, my god, I am so happy to exist. And also one more thing for autumn.
It's number 1.
For those of you who have been following me for a couple of years now, this pick is very obvious, but for those of you who haven't been following me for a couple of years, this is not only my favorite film of a couple of years ago, it is currently my favorite film of this decade, but it is also my favorite films of all time, and that film is The Suicide Squad. There is not a single sentence, let alone a single word, that describes my absolute love and adoration for this movie. While The Suicide Squad may not be the most technically proficient movie out there, or it may not be a perfect film per se, but at the same time, on a subjective level, out of all the films that have been released for the DCU, none of them have come close to giving me the emotion, the laughter, and the joy that The Suicide Squad has brought to me. You know, when some movies are described as essentially comfort film, whenever I have a bad day, I almost always pop in The Suicide Squad. Whether it comes down to James Gunn's writing and directing, the brilliant performances from the amazing and stacked cast, Henry Bram's gorgeous cinematography, the visceral and the bloody action sequences, the amazing soundtrack, and a brilliant score by John Murphy, the editing, this movie flies by at such a high pace. Not only do I discover something new every time I watch The Suicide Squad, but every time I rewatch this film, guys, not only does it get better and better and better, but it grows on my favorite movies of all time list. This is a movie that deserved so much more than I got at the box office. That really sounds because I feel like that some people missed, at least in my eyes, what is to me the best DC film, not just the best DCEU film, but in my eyes, the best DC film since The Dark Knight, which I know is a tall praise because The Dark Knight is one of the greatest films of all time. The Suicide Squad is my favorite film of the DCU. This movie fucking rules. That's gonna wrap it up for my top 5 favorite films of the DCEU. Please comment, let me know below, what are your top 5 favorite films of the DCU, and give me a couple of honorable mentions as well. Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm also on Twitch, so if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the username are in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my top 5 favorite films of the DCEU. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, when my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.